Good morning, beloveds. So today I am reflecting on how life can be a mixed bag. Or I should say our, he's not my cat. He loves my husband. So our 15-year-old hyperthyroid cat went to the vet yesterday. And yeah, you heard me right. He's 15. He's part Maine Coon, and we don't know what else. At his heaviest, he was 21 pounds, and right now he's about 11 pounds. And his thyroid is good. He gained 0.2 of a pound, so that's good. He's got a little bit of a heart murmur, and he's got, some teeth issues. But overall, for a 15-year-old hyperthyroid cat, he's doing really well. Good morning, Dana. And yesterday, I broke my rule. I don't call people after 10 o'clock. My phone goes into quiet mode at 10 o'clock. I don't call people after 10 o'clock at night. And I try not to call people before 7 o'clock in the morning, because that's when my phone comes out of quiet mode. But I came home yesterday. I went straight from work to class. We had class starting at 6:30 on Zoom, and it's Bible Wisdom. Fun class. No, really, it is a fun class. I don't want you to think it's not. And when I got out of class, I turned my phone off, obviously, because I didn't want to be disturbed while I was in class. And I didn't pick my phone up when I got out of class. I didn't pick it up until around 10 o'clock when I realized that I hadn't done my Instagram beauty post for the day. And I had some flowers from yesterday, so I wanted to get that done. I picked it up, and I looked down, and I saw my mother's face. And I went, and she called at 9 o'clock. And I went, okay. And then I saw that she texted. My mother never texts. But she texted, and she says, call me when you get this. So my Aunt Mary is having an MRI today. And because she was found in a situation that was unusual for my Aunt Mary. Good morning, Susan. And I sat on the couch after 10 o'clock at night and listened to my mother go through all of the worst case scenarios on what could be going on. And I'm sitting here going, okay, and I understand why you have to do that. But I'm also clearly science of mind, because I'm sitting here going, or it could be nothing. It could just be a glitch. She could be fine. At no time did my mom ever say, but she's going to be okay. And that's what I'm sitting here going. And I did. I stopped to my mother and I said, okay, I said, you've gone through all the worst case scenarios. Let's focus on the positive. It could be nothing. It could just be a glitch. She could be fine. She may just need to have some medication adjusted. She could be fine. So it's just, I don't know. It was, that's life. That's life. My cat is doing really well on his medication, and my aunt's having an MRI. And I am a religious scientist because as mom was going through the worst case scenarios, I was focused on the positive. And I thought about it this morning and I went, my whole family is Christian. They're Catholic, actually. And I was like, in Christ, anything is possible. Nobody said it. I'm hoping that they're saying it in their hearts. And, I'm in treatment and I put it out for, our pastoral care team to treat. Because it sounds like my mom's brothers and sisters, all my aunts and uncles are kind of freaking out. And I know my mom is. I can hear it in her voice. So let's move on back into joy. Now that we've reflected on the mixed bag of life. What I'm trying to say is that I'm grateful for this teaching, because as I was listening to Mom go through the worst case scenarios, I was trying to think of best case scenarios. I acknowledge the worst case scenarios and accept the best case. All right. May 21st. Our Bible quote is from Psalm 42:1. Good morning, Peggy. Okay. I'm sorry, this one's in the language, so this is going to take a minute. As the hart panteth after the water brooks, so panteth my soul after thee, O God. I'm assuming that a hart, H-A-R-T, is an animal. I think it's a deer, actually. I may have to look that up. Okay. I looked at that one and went, oh God, this is going to be interesting. I try and warn you ahead of time when the Bible quotes in that really old language that, yeah. Which, by the way, I'm a minister. I have at least five copies of the Bible. Right now, I can only find one, and it's my least favorite. So I need treatment on where the rest of my Bibles went. They're somewhere in this house. I have a lot of books, so I need to turn. I really want to find my Catholic Bible. I really like the language in that one, so and I need to find it this weekend. So I just think it's ironic. I have five, and I can only find one. I realized that one of the reasons I may not have received a more definite answer to my prayer, more swift and specific manifestation from my spiritual treatment, is because I did not persist in my expectancy. I hoped for, rather than had faith, I would receive the good I desired. Now I realize that there must be a certain acceptance and expectancy that is built upon or sustained by faith. Because of faith, I must accept the fact that my good is and persist in expecting its manifestation. My faith sustains my expectancy at all times. Faith is an entirely individual and personal attitude. It flourishes within me. I realize that I may have as much faith as I will, regardless of anything and everything else. The only limit to what I may have is the faith I do have. As is my faith, so is my acceptance. And as is my acceptance, so is my expectancy. And finally, as is my expectancy, so is my demonstration or experience. Through the broad avenues of expectancy created within me by my faith, all good comes to me. Well, this is extremely timely for me today. I hope it's helpful for you guys, but I needed to hear this today. And yes, thank you. A heart is a deer. Both Dana and Peggy. Last night in the class, somebody made a reference to a rock badger, and everybody in the class went, what the heck is a rock badger? So at least 3 of us Googled it while we were in class. At the end of the class, we were all showing pictures of it's a hyrax, which looks like a rodent, but is actually related to an elephant. Super cute. Yeah. So, gotta love when the Bible uses words and we're like, what? Okay, so on to the timely lesson in faith. Because I think that's what I'm talking about this morning, is my having faith that my aunt is going to be okay. But also my having faith in what she deems okay and what I deem okay don't have to be the same thing, and that is okay as well. And that's faith. So I realized that one of the reasons that he's talking about, so I've prayed about this, but I haven't gotten what I wanted. Why not? And what Ernest is saying, because I didn't persist in my expectancy. I hoped rather than had faith. So, and I don't have the answer to this. I'm going to tell you that now. What is the difference between hope and faith? Because we talk about hope a lot and how important it is to have hope. And if you grew up like I did on Star Wars, in fact, when I watched Rogue One, the very end of the movie, Princess Leia turns around and says, what they gave us is hope. So I don't have a clear-cut answer between hope and faith. But hope is definitely important. It is something that we need. It is something that we run on. But hope won't get us everywhere if we don't have the faith behind it. So I guess maybe what I would think is that faith is the power behind hope. Faith is what gets us through the darkness. We might even call it the wick to hope. If we make hope the candle, then faith is the wick. It's what burns. It's what can get us through. So how strong is your wick? All right. Let's see. Now I realize that there must be a certain acceptance and expectancy built upon or sustained by faith. Because of faith, I must accept the fact that my good is and persist in expecting its manifestation. The trouble with being time-bound mortal creatures or time-bound mortal spirits is that Sherry, my friend in school, Reverend Sherry, would frequently say, not my time, but God's time. So the good is there. It just may take a little time to get to us. And we have to persist in expecting it. Don't let go of that expectation. It will happen. And give up on the how. So my faith sustains my expectancy at all times. In the face of every challenge, that is what faith is for. Faith is what gets you through the challenge. Faith is an entirely individual and personal attitude, and that is true. Your faith is what you have built by what you have read and what you have listened to and your spiritual practices that you have done. And I would say partly on the people that you, and I'm going to use the word let love you. So that can help build your faith as well. When you allow people to love on you, then that can help build your faith as well. It flourishes within me. I realize that I may have as much faith as I will. Faith is a mental equivalent. How big is your container? And if your container isn't big enough, what do you need to do to increase your container of faith? And your container of faith may be different for different situations. So don't be surprised if in this situation my faith is this big and in this situation my faith is this big. Ideally, that you would have the same container of faith for everybody. And that is something that we can work on. It's like, I would like to have one great big container of faith. My co-minister has arrived. The only limit to what I may have is the faith that I do have. So spiritual practices, what your daily diet is, and I'm not talking about food here. I am talking about, the good that you consume for yourself in music and reading and watching and things like this, doing something loving and compassionate for yourself. So, as is my faith, so is my acceptance. As is my acceptance, so is my expectancy. And finally, as is my expectancy, so is my demonstration or experience. Whew. Okay, so that's a lot of words to string together. Through the broad avenues of expectancy created within me by my faith, all good comes to me. That's a meme if I ever saw one. Hang on. I'm going to read that last line again. Through the broad avenues of expectancy created within me, by my faith, all good comes to me. Immediately as I say broad avenues, what I'm thinking is when you go to those big cities and they have the wide 5-lane roads, 5 lanes in each direction. So it's like 10 lanes plus there's this particular place in Colorado, it's in Lakewood, near Mile High, where there's this huge intersection. And there's all of this traffic, and it just kind of clicks along. And I think that's what I thought of when I saw that broad avenues. So, yeah, today is a day about faith and expectancy. Oh, I needed that. I did need that. So I'm going to get on with my day, and I'm going to encourage you to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. I don't know if you've been outside yet. I have. It's hot and sticky already. But make sure that you get some exercise, movement. I'm a runner, but dance. Put on your favorite music and dance around your living space. Do something fun for yourself, whatever it is that you're doing. As we are moving back into this new normal, we are going to face challenges, but we are going to face them with faith that it's all going to be okay. All right. Know that we are with you. Know that we love you. Know that we are finding wonderful and interesting ways to continue to connect with you. And I do love you. Have a fantastic day, beloveds.